Hey y'all, so I told you I was coming right back. That last video ran a little too long and I don't want to make an hour video. That 30 minutes, that last video is probably gonna be about 25 minutes. But hey y'all, I am Muriel. This is As Told by Muriel. And if you didn't catch my last video, go back and watch that one because I introduced my first product for my new line, Nurse Brain Creations. And for you new grads, because I got a lot of new nurses, people graduating that are on my channel, go check that out because y'all want to grab that product, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it has enhanced my reporting game in my long-term care facilities I go to. It has enhanced my report game in the hospital that I work in. Y'all can't tell me nothing when it comes to report now. I no longer feel inadequate. I think I probably give too much information. When before I was riding home thinking, oh, I forgot to tell, I forgot. I don't have that issue no more, y'all. Everything is on it. So go check out my last video. Anywho, this video today is for my LPN new grad. And I decided to make this video because my nephew is graduating. He actually just completed. October he completed. He'll be graduating. I think their ceremony is in 2 weeks. And he was, you know, he talks to me a lot because I'm the only other nurse in the family as far as my mother's children. I do have one other cousin who became a nurse in 2018. Yeah, she became a nurse in 2018, but before that I was the only nurse in our family. And he's, you know, my nephew, my sister's son. You know, I'm so proud of him, y'all. I'm so proud of him because he about to be getting to the money. He about to get to them coins. And I was trying to advise him because he would reach out to me about different things like employment opportunities, and I was telling him what I think was best for him. And y'all, if y'all agree or disagree, y'all let me know, because y'all, LPNs are working in the hospital. You know, they're back. You know that saying of the LPNs can't get hospital jobs, honey. That is no longer true. They hiring LPNs left and right up in the hospital. I work with plenty LPNs in the hospital, and we do the same thing. The only thing they can't do is IV pushes and assessments. And but we do this, and they can't start blood transfusions. They can't initiate it, but they can monitor it and assess. You know, they say they not supposed to assess, but child, please. Anywho, so he was talking with me and he was telling me about all these job opportunities he has, and he really wants to go in acute care. Like I mentioned, when I gave him one of my books and he wanted the acute care book, and I was kind of shocked because I didn't know he would want to go into acute care. Because let me tell you, my nephew, he growing up, he always thought that he would be in the medical field in the healthcare field. He used to say that he wanted to be a gynecologist. He just delivering babies was, I don't know, he always just said he wanted to be a gynecologist, and he do plan to go further in his healthcare career. But he was telling me about the different job offers he was getting, and he was excited about the hospital job offers. And I asked him, I was like, what is your goal? This is, like I said, for LPNs. What is your goal? His goal is to go back to school to get his RN. He plans to re-enroll into the school that he's currently in for their LPN and RN program. And I was like, okay, so if that is your goal, when do you plan to re-enroll? And I think he said he planned to re-enroll next year. So I said, okay, well, for you, if you're planning to re-enroll, then you're in the hospital, you know, it's cool. But let me tell y'all, if y'all out here and y'all trying to get to the money, because most people are trying to get to the money, let me tell you, LPNs out there, you will make more money in long-term care than you will in the hospital. The hospital coming in as that brand new LPN, they are not paying you. They don't pay well. When I say well, I guess well is relative, but you know, you hear stories of LPNs out here making $30 an hour now, 25, 30, I'll say 28 to $30 an hour. Some making $40 an hour. They're not getting that in the hospital. Let me tell you that right now. They're not getting that, especially as a new grad LPN. You're not getting that in the hospital. When they talk them numbers, they talking long-term care. They talking contract agency. They're not talking that as new grads. And so I told him, you probably will get about, they may give him $23 an hour at the hospital. Then you got to count your shift differential. If you work night shift or whatever, you might get a differential of like $3 to $5, and I'm saying 23, and I'm being generous with 23 only because they just gave raises at my job to all nurses, LPNs, RNs, and respiratory therapists. So he may roll in there at 23 an hour. He may roll in there at 24 an hour. I'm gonna be generous and say 24 because I know at one point they were bringing LPNs in at $18 an hour. So he may roll in there at $24 an hour. That's not bad money compared to what he was making. That is great money. Let me say that is great money. But I feel like if you're trying to make money and you're an LPN, and say you don't have aspirations of going back for your RN, or you do plan to go for your RN, but right now you got to make some money before you can go back for your RN. You got to make them coins. Go into long-term care or into something compatible with what long-term care going to pay. Let me tell y'all, rolling into these companies right now, going and taking a staff job as an LPN, I don't know of a place that's offering less than $27 an hour. I don't know of a place that is offering LPNs. No, I lied. The assisted living facility I was going to, they were offering $25 an hour. They were offering $25 an hour for LPNs, but this assisted living, the workload is very, very light. You're really not doing much. To be honest with you, you're not doing much. But if you go into these long-term care facilities, these facilities offering like $27, $28 an hour for even new grad LPNs. And plus, some of them have shift differential. So if you work a 3 to 11 or you work 11 to 7, that 27 can turn into 30 real quick. The work it's a lot of work now. Don't get me wrong. It's because you have 25 to 30 patients. And I'm not gonna lie. You might have 15. If certain facilities, you might have 15, depending on what shift you go in. You may have as much as 25 on the day shift. 25 is my cutoff for a day shift. 25 is all I'm gonna do on day shift. But you will learn while earning that money. And if you do a good, y'all, some people, I don't think you need a year long-term care experience to go agency. I don't really think you need 6 months. I think you just need to learn and ask as many questions as possible. And if you get a good preceptor and you can like 3 good months, you get a good preceptor. That preceptor will have you ready to take an agency shifts. Let me tell you, I already told my nephew, when you decide what job you're going to, because I work with several different agencies, when you decide what job you're going to take, what offer you're going to take, because he has gotten several offers. If it's in long-term care, I will pick up shifts at that facility just so I can precept. They won't assign me to precept him because I'm an agency nurse. But honey, I'm going to walk over to that floor with my nephew at, and I'll be like, let me show you this real quick. Go ahead and write this down so you'll know. Because he may not have a tube feeder in his group. But he's going to encounter a tube feeder if he go to take an agency shift. So if I'm that nurse and I'm working on the floor and it has tube feeders or vents or traits, not vents, excuse me. I don't work the facility with vents anymore. That has a trach or a tube feeding, I'm going to pull him to the side. Come on, look at this. Come on, look at this. I'm going to have my nephew prepared to take him an agency job within 3 months. Still keep his staff job, but have that option to pick up some agency shifts because he was trained by me. And let me tell you, I'm going to teach him everything from how to do them trachs, so he won't be scared to work with trachs, how to work with them trach patients, how to suction properly. I'm going to teach him everything from that to how you do not superscribe in order. Y'all, let me tell you, where I work at, the agency nurses are getting a bad rap because I think a lot of them are new grads who may have only worked because some of these agencies, as far as going to long-term care, they don't care how long you've been a nurse. You could have been a nurse a month and they will hire you and send you to a facility. When you go agency, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to do these things. And I had a nurse I was working with who her patient's G-tube came out and she didn't know how to put the G-tube back in. And y'all, I heard the staff nurses talking trash in the background. You know, I heard them talking trash saying, you got all these agency nurses in here and they don't even know how to do. And she wasn't wrong for that. You should know how to insert a G-tube if you're an agency nurse. And you come in here as agency, that means you know how to do these things. You shouldn't have to pull the staff nurse to come insert a G-tube. And not to say there are things that I didn't know how to do, because like even me, I didn't know like these new sensor, those little blood sugar sensor things that people have stuck in their arm. I had never come across that until recently, well, like 3 months ago, when I was working at an assisted living facility and the patient had one, and I had to change it out, and I had no idea how to do it. Now I YouTubed it, y'all, because you know YouTube is the gold. I YouTube that sensor and how to change it, and YouTube walked me right on through how to change that sensor out, and that's what it did. YouTube has walked me through how to administer some IM injections, because they have them in these little funky little things, and I don't even know how to open the little thing, and YouTube has walked me through how to do that. So I YouTube a lot of things, but I guess her being never doing a G-tube inserting one, she was nervous, didn't want to do it. But you won't learn, you know. I don't fault. Maybe she should have pulled, because I was the agency nurse. She should have probably pulled me and asked me. I think I had just came off lunch, so I wasn't in the building, because we were working the same hall, but she was on one side, I was on the other. But I was coming off of lunch when it occurred. But she should have, had she pulled me, she wouldn't have got nothing. I would have just showed her how to do it, because I've had to show a nurse how to reinsert a G-tube, not reinsert, it was a new G-tube, so insert a G-tube before, and a patient who had pulled one out, and this nurse had been a nurse forever, and you're not going to tell me she never encountered this, but I think she probably never attempted to put one in before, because there are some nurses who just, you know, just whatever. But anywho, get your experience as far as money. I go off on tangents, y'all. Just excuse me. If you're in it, if you want to do it and you want to make money, long-term care, I think, is the best bet. Because even if you go into acute care as an LPN, once you get your RN, you're going to be familiar with some of the things, because you've encountered the system and all that. But you still going to have to go on 8 to 12 weeks of training. Once you get your RN, they may still want you to do a residency program, even though you work there as an LPN, but now you're RN, they may still require you to do a residency program. So you don't work there for this money, as in that what you got paid as an LPN, you don't work there for that. You become an RN, they're still going to treat you like a brand new nurse. You may not get any extra money for that year or two that you was an LPN and worked there. You may not get any extra money. You may get an extra 25 cents. But they're gonna still treat you like a brand new RN. So I just feel like, as a new LPN, to make the money, if money is your goal, to make the money, I feel like you should go into long-term care. You're going to make the money in long-term care. You're going to be able to, if you get a good preceptor, you'll be able to go and transition into agency as a long-term care nurse, and make even more money. There are, like I said in a video before, there are facilities out here paying agency LPNs where I live $50 an hour. The LPNs where I live working through agency are not making less than $35 an hour. And they're making up to $50 an hour. I can attest to that, because I have worked with some who the facility was paying me $60, and they were paying the LPN $50. Then there are times where, like the other day, the shift, they could not find a nurse to work at all, so the pay went up, and they were offering $65 and $75. So the LPN who took that picked up that shift was getting $65 that shift, y'all. So the money is out there in long-term care. If money is your goal, like for LPNs, now I'm saying LPNs, now the money out there for RNs, more money is out there in acute care. But for LPNs, new grads, if you want to make the money as a new grad LPN, the money is out there in long-term care. It's a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but y'all look at all these millions of people working in long-term care. They not up in there, and they not miserable. Like, even me, I'm an RN, and I prefer long-term care. Long-term care is life for me. Like, long-term care is life. Right now, I need to make some money, y'all. I feel like I've been a nurse all these years. I missed out on the whole, pandemic, the first time around, because I left acute care because I was miserable. And I went back to long-term care, and I was fine. I was fine with my $2,000 a week. But when you think of $2,000 versus $4,000, and there are facilities that are not too far from me. I travel an hour and a half, 2 hours to work in long-term care facilities. I can travel an hour and a half or 2 hours to take me an agency acute care job, make me about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week, y'all. When it all boils down, you have to do what's best for you and your family. And right now, that would be very beneficial to me and my goals. Just imagine had I been getting that $3,000 or $4,000 a week. That probably would have been paid off probably in August, you know, so. Anywho, y'all. Anywho, if you have any questions or you want to make another video, because I think I pretty much explained it pretty well on my take on new grad LPNs. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I am Muriel, as told by Muriel, and I will try to be back with another video at least within a week's time, y'all. You know, I'm in this last, I think we down to 4 weeks now for this BSN program, and I'm struggling, y'all. I'm really struggling in these 2 classes, but it is what it is. So I will catch you guys later. Bye.